Two marker. What is going on, everybody? Movie Talk fans, what is going on? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka the Ryan 680, ladies and gentlemen. What is up, everybody? What's going on, guys?
Hi,
What's
everyone.
up?
How y'all doing? Lex, Ted, what's going on, brother? How y'all doing today?
Just
Fantastic. How's it going?
Start at the right
just
time.
having a good day, and happy to be here once again, talking to the audience and just having a great conversation.
Yeah, let's get right to it, guys. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in because after Wakanda Forever, ladies and gentlemen, Black Panther, which premiered this past weekend, it is official. Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is officially over. It is over. It is done with, including the TV shows. At first, I had to rethink. I was like, wait, is the TV shows done? But then I keep forgetting, Disney Plus. It's Andor still needs the season finale came out today, so I was a little, got a little mixed up there. I was like, wait, I could have sworn there's something still going on, but yeah, no, this is it, guys. It's completely done. Wakanda Forever. This completes Marvel Cinematic Universe phase number 4. Now, I know everyone could be on the same page here when we talk about phase 4 is that it's been very divided as far as moviegoers. It's a very divided phase, I would say. Coming off of Endgame, well, I would say what was the last movie of phase 3? It was Spider-Man, right?
It was Spider-Man Far From
Far
Home,
From
I
Home,
believe.
right? I think it was Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home. So that ended on that note and everything. So it's just to give context to the whole situation, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, the pandemic, a pandemic did affect the movie industry, affected it so much. So many moving parts here, I would say, when it comes to the whole Disney entertainment. I mean, from the drama, I remember Lex, me and you, we did a whole thing special on the whole Black Widow situation, right? I mean, the whole
Yeah.
like how they made it to where it was at home, people could watch it at home and at
Yeah.
the theater, but then they charged at home and the inconvenient price and all that, and then the Black Widow scoundrel with Scarlett Johansson not getting paid out. Just so much drama between that, along with the VFX department as well. It seems that Disney's actually going on the low budget, on the very cheapest bid for VFX for that a few articles I did read that it was just like, wow, this. I mean, granted, it's not all the movies, but
Yeah.
for Bob Chapek to really say that he's going to put out the same content, same quality content of the Marvel movies into the TV shows and everything, it kind of I was on board for it, but at the same time though, it's just so much. There's a lot of content going on, right? I mean, obviously this phase 4, we had the first ever Disney Plus series in a phase. Now, with that in mind, before we talk about this, were y'all on the fence for that for phase 4 to include TV shows, or were y'all against it, or were you just like, oh, I mean, this is cool, maybe we'll get some new stuff going on? Lex, we'll start with you, man, and then we'll do it, Ted.
Yeah. So for me, I was always on board. From the background that I have, like with working at Hulu, like I really started seeing how shows and streaming is essentially the future. I don't think it's
Yeah,
I think it's like the future of different stories, right? It doesn't mean that like movies are going to stop existing, because I think that the in theater experience is still something very special, but there is something to say about like the week to week delivery of content and the chatter that it generates over those week breaks, right?
yeah,
Between each episode and leaving you in a cliffhanger and things like that. So I was on board with what Marvel could do in the Disney Plus house.
yeah,
I was just like, my only thing was, okay, are these things gonna feel like mini movies basically? And I
yeah,
think for the most part they accomplished it, but towards the end of Phase 4, they started doing something where the shows seem to have had less of an impact,
yeah.
and I think that's the problem that I saw later on. But at the start, when you brought characters like Wanda, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Falcon now being Captain America,
Yeah.
like those were characters transitioning straight from the movies. So I think that's what made it feel cohesive. And then they started introducing new characters in TV shows, and that's when it got a little tricky for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I could see it like that. Ted, what did you think, man? What was your whole take on this? Were you for it, against it? Were you like, are you? Because I was scared. I was scared to where like now if you open the can of worms of too much TV, it's like I don't know. I kind of feel like now it has to follow like you can't. You're limited because you have to follow the movie format. I don't know. Call me crazy, but what'd you think, Ted?
Crazy. Listen, crazy.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Marvel or comic books or
Yeah.
just geek content, like why are you? I don't understand why anyone would want to be involved or all in on Marvel going into TV. These were the TV shows that were not Marvel Television anymore. They got rid of that division, and this is just everything under Marvel Studios, which means Kevin Feige oversees everything, which means we are going to put out a high quality product each and every time.
See, and that's the thing
So
too, though, is that I'm against it
I'm
though.
all for it.
I'm
You
like
don't
okay.
like good
No,
content?
no, 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 no. I'm against that whole statement is broad. That's a broad statement, right?
No, it's
If
not.
if Bob Iger was saying this, I would agree. If you know, but Bob's paycheck that really has really had such a negative impact on the industry itself, on the Marvel entertainment industry. It really has. I kind of feel like Kevin Feige is like, you know, it's he has this, of course he has his power, right? I mean, obviously he has the producer. I mean, he manages that whole house, the whole Marvel Studio house. But at the same time, though, was it his decision? I feel like it wasn't. It wasn't his decision to release Black Widow the way it did, the way because it's like I finished the product, but how it gets executed, that's that's the management, that's the CEO, that's how they want to release it on the entertainment side. And I was very skeptical. I really was when it comes down to the TV shows and to the movies. I was on board, and then when they announced like all these stuff happening, I was like, holy crap! Is it gonna collide? Is it gonna is it just gonna be very limited, or is this every single episode or every single season of a series gonna feel like it's a setup? It's gonna set up to a movie. It's gonna set up to this. It's gonna set up to so then therefore it's not a TV show. It's just a setup TV show in a way to where it doesn't really add significant value to the MCU universe because it's just setting up everything. Again, though, that was just my take before watching this series and everything. Before watching that was my only intake for that. But to start off this whole, just I did not know this though. Correct. I did not know this that actually the first Disney Plus series we were supposed to get was Falcon and Winter Soldier. I did not know that. So I'm gonna be on board and say, wow, that was. But we start off with WandaVision in 2021, ladies and gentlemen. We start off WandaVision January to March 2021, which was fantastic. I think we all agree with the WandaVision and everything. I think we give it high value here. But we'll go to the rankings in a little bit for TV shows. Let's go ahead to movies, guys. As far as the films go, because I know we're gonna be very different. I feel like I typed it up, guys. I typed it up, but I haven't actually like stared at it, looked at it. You know, when you're just like, boom, boom, okay. Let's next one. I haven't really looked at it. When Lex told me, he's all like, "Hey, why are you looking at my list for?" I was just like,
No, I just didn't know if I had to fix the typos and stuff. Like,
oh no,
yeah.
I just need to know just the genre and everything. So let's with the rankings and everything, with the way the movies came about already, with the whole negativity between Black Widow. Did y'all enjoy Black Widow? Let me go on and say that. Yes or no? Did y'all enjoy Black Widow?
Absolutely.
You
The
did.
fight sequences were fantastic. The humor was incredible. We got Hopper from Stranger Things, who was carrying most of the comedic weight. The family dynamic, the sister dynamic, it was
Yeah.
all very new to us. We don't have a lot of those things up until this point in the MCU. So yeah, no, Black Widow was, in my opinion, very entertaining and well above par.
Oh, okay. Lex, what did you think of Black Widow, real quick?
For me, Black Widow, I don't think it lived to my expectations. Me personally, because the there was a lot of twists, which isn't always a bad thing, and the way I feel about Black Widow is not because of those twists alone, but I really felt that the trailer sold me on one thing, and then I got something else, which in execution, it could either be it could either be received as a surprise, or in my case, I think in the execution of those changes and what was being sold and presented, being different, just
Yeah.
didn't land with me. Not all of them. I
Hmm.
did enjoy Scarlett Johansson's performance. I loved the introduced characters like Yelena and Captain Britain and
Hmm.
David Harbour. I loved the introduction of those characters.
Yeah.
Um, but once again, I think what was sold to me on the trailers was different, and I just recall watching it and just feeling that in execution it just didn't work for me. The new ideas and the new presentations, I know a lot of people complained about it. I feel similar about some of the decision making that they went
Yeah.
with
With
Taskmaker,
yeah.
the villain.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have the same issues as everyone, but I do think they missed the mark with that character in particular,
Yeah.
knowing how cool the
Yeah.
character is in the comics.
Yeah, with Taskmaker, it didn't really bother me as much that I know it bothered a lot of people. It really did. When it comes down to the comic book, the comic book fan base here, and it really, yeah. I mean, I was just like, hey, I mean, it didn't really the value of that character. It didn't add value to me, so it's just like, okay, like he's in there and everything. That's cool. It wasn't my favorite, villain. Black Widow surprised me though. I'm not gonna lie, it really did. I thought it was gonna be the most horrible movie of the MCU. I'll be honest. I really didn't expect anything of it. I went in was like, okay, this is Black Widow. Even though we know she passed in Endgame, they just made this movie just to add context to the next Black Widow. Because in reality, it's a setup. I mean, if you don't know, at the very end credit scene, it's a setup for the next Black Widow. When we talk about, we talk end credit scene at the very, it's a setup. Granted, though, it is gonna bring context to where Thunderbolts come in because I
Yeah.
believe David Harper's in there as well, and so it's another setup of its own, if that makes any sense. I know people are going to be arguing, and it's definitely a situation to where did Marvel hit its peak at Endgame? Did it? I mean, in my personal opinion, guys, with films like this, with phases like this, with so many films, when the way Marvel structured this whole cinema, it's very subjective, right? You could say, yes, no, hell no. My only opinion of this, guys, is that I believe Marvel has hit its peak in Endgame, but that's not to say that this phase wasn't great. Like it was good with of its own, of its own genre. I'm not gonna say it. People expect now because of Endgame, because of all that, they were expecting that high budget, high momentum film that Endgame gave us all. Gave us all chills. It gave us all the emotional grasp that we all felt for each of these characters. Whether you liked Thor, Captain America, it didn't matter because they were all in the movie. And so I kind of feel like that comic book fans are kind of just set up to where like they're stuck in that phase, if that makes any sense, right? Am I crazy, guy? I mean, you think that's why people feel so negative towards different outtakes? Because I would say this: Phase 4 is definitely a risk. Phase 4 is a risk of a phase.
Yeah.
I would say this is the most risk
They made
taking.
changes, or
Yes.
they took risks in making changes in the way that the Marvel formula, which I commend them
Yeah.
to, because that was
Yeah.
feedback that they have gotten before, that it was very
Yeah.
formulaic.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I respect them. I respect them for making the risk that they did and everything. And I just for me, for a moviegoer, it's just I enjoyed that. I respect that. But at the same time though, it's like you give these fans, you give these people that that it really didn't touch up on that aspect. It really didn't hit that grasp and everything. But let's go to and touch up on the rankings, guys. So I know we talked about this rankings. I know this is gonna be definitely good. This is gonna be very nasty. We're gonna get down and dirty,
I'm
guys.
interested to see what
So
everyone else.
here is the timeline real quick, just to give us a little outtake here. Here is the timeline: WandaVision, Loki, the Falcon, Winter Soldier, Black Widow. Here's the rankings of Phase 4 of all of it. The timeline for it, right? The timeline. All right. Now let's get right to it. I'm gonna add the rankings in right about now. So let's get right to it, guys. So the rankings. So it's gonna be a little bit weird because Ted said it to us a little bit later. So Ted's at the very bottom right here.
I spent mine
So-
hours ago. I don't know. What
Oh,
you're talking about.
You see, he literally said it to me 15 minutes before the show, but it's all good. All
No
right.
idea what he's talking about, fam.
All right, let's get right to it. So, ranking number one, I'm gonna kind of like hide it a little bit, try to hide it. So, ranking number one, this is definitely crazy. So, Lex chose Shang-Chi. I respect that. I respect that a lot. I chose Doctor Strange too, and it does look like, oh man, okay, whoa, 10 with the one hitter, man.
Is this hard?
Yeah, dude. Dude, one hitter, dude. Damn. Spider-Man, dude. Spider-Man.
No
You
Way
chose
Home.
Spider. Why'd you choose Spider-Man? Just curious. Why'd you
But
choose?
the question? Okay, no,
Because it's an obvious choice. We went back and they made the most banger of movies in a solo film. They brought back 20 something years worth of nostalgic characters,
It was a
incorporated
gimmick.
it, interweaved it into the current MCU, and it could have just been a happy, fun little like, here's three Spider-Men, watch them play. But instead, they put all this drama into it, all this tension. They killed Aunt May. They had Peter Parker, our current Peter Parker, like completely make a sacrifice in
Again,
protecting his friends.
I
by the
respect
end of
that.
the movie, which is the biggest Spider-Man arc we've seen on the big screen. This
I
isn't
respect that
hard, bro.
choice. That is good. That is good. I
Yeah.
respect that. I respect that. All right, let's go to ranking number
I
two.
actually
Oh.
find yours kind of weird, Ryan. But I'll just
Hey, okay. I know. That's what I'm saying. This is very split. We're gonna see definitely different
Why-
aspects here.
Don't go to
So-
2. Why is Doctor Strange 2 your number 1? That's what we want to know.
It was the most risk-taking Marvel film. I felt like the whole horror aspect. I fucking loved it, dude. I love the horror. I love the WandaVision. I love that scene where it's like almost the essence of Evil Dead. I love the whole like when Wanda's literally walking and she's in the hallway and Doctor Strange they're trying to escape and like she's like walking with like one leg. It was definitely a horror element that I never thought Marvel could make me feel.
It was a
And
gimmick.
yeah,
It was a
no,
gimmick.
what? Oh, here we go. No, whatever. What?
we can go to number 2 because I think this
Yeah.
is maybe where stuff gets
Yeah.
a little closer. But
Yeah,
I gotta
so-
say, Shang-Chi for me, like it's number 1 just because I think just everything from the concept to execution to the performances and introductions of new characters, I just think they hit all those boxes like right
Yeah.
on the dot. And-
So what
it's
yeah.
really nice.
Shang-Chi, dude, I give you that because obviously I'm a number
Put it
two is
at
my
number 2. And I
number
took
2.
Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home was very close to me. So
Damn,
that's why
dude, okay.
I don't disagree with Ted's
Yeah.
because I almost put it at number 1.
So okay, so Ted, let me pick yours real quick before we talk about. Okay, so Black. Oh, what? Wow, dude, what the heck? Black Panther? Damn. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, so I totally right, Lex. I would say for me, for a huge fan of Shang-Chi, was that this Shang-Chi actually felt like not a setup movie. It felt like there was no freaking setup for anything, and I love that because it felt like its own film. It felt like almost, again, I'm comparing it to Iron Man. Like Iron Man, yes, the end credits was a setup, but the whole movie itself really wasn't. It was just the end credits showed Samuel Jackson show up. We all know the scene, that amazing scene. But the whole movie in itself wasn't really a setup.
It was
just
very focused story.
yeah.
'Cause,
It was
you know,
focused
you
on his
saw that-
character.
Yeah, you saw that
Yeah.
it was interconnected, right? Like Wong made an appearance, Abomination shows up. It does have an after credit scene, which I think is actually one of the best post credit scenes in Phase 4.
Yeah.
The one in Shang-Chi. But yeah, it was very focused, and I just really enjoyed that element of it. Just as an origin tale, they brought a character that a lot of people did not know, and he really is super charismatic. I love Simu Liu. And just when you hear from his origins and how he actually tweeted at Marvel asking to be a superhero years ago, and I just love everything about it. And when I replay Shang-Chi, it's really good. So once again, it naturally makes sense for it to be on your number 2. And then I saw like that's No Way Home is there for me just because absolutely everything that Ted said was on the dot. Like just the impact and nostalgia behind that movie.
I respect that. Yeah.
plus what it did for the character of Spider-Man. And y'all know, if y'all have seen our episodes before, y'all know I've been very critical of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland, but I've been very critical of his Spider-Man. And
yeah.
and this movie, like
Mhm.
it just kind of was like, okay, I'm sold. I know it's weird to say that on the third movie, but
Yeah, I do. Okay, so like, I didn't fall into the whole Iron Man, Spider Man. Like, I didn't. I was. This isn't Spider Man. This was like Spider help. He was getting help from Tony Stark. He was now that he actually, spoiler alert, now that no one actually knows who he is, this is where he actually gets to become an actual solo Spider Man hero, which what I always wanted. So for me to complain and say like, oh man, all these movies, he's not. Now this is the actual time for it to shine. I would say, but I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy them. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed those damn movies. They were freaking good. I'm never gonna say that they're not as bad as Spider-Man 3, whatever. It just it's not. They were good, solid films. But for me, I wanted a true Spider-Man movie where we don't see Iron Man, we don't see any of the Marvel characters, just him struggling on his own, figuring it out by himself. That's what I wanted. I want
I'll say it.
yeah.
Homecoming is a bad movie.
Oh my! Oh! Wait! What'd you say?
I was very critical of Homecoming.
Homecoming.
I'll say
Wow,
Homecoming-
Lex.
Homecoming's in my
I mean,
bottom
Ted. Sorry.
bottom third of Marvel movies overall.
Wow, dude. Okay.
I think Far From Home is like average, and then No Way
Yeah.
Home is
I've
Yeah.
actually agree with.
I actually-
and y'all could look back at my
all
things. I've been very
expectations.
critical.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, so Shang-Chi 2 for
And
me,
then Ted
Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Ted, Wakanda Forever, dude.
Wakanda.
What?
Wakanda.
What?
Ryan, I've told you, you're on your own with how you feel about Wakanda Forever, man.
I'm not saying I'm not saying anything's wrong. Okay, here's the thing. People ask me, and they literally ask me because they know how excited I get for movies, right? Even at work, they're just like, "How was Wakanda Forever?" And they're just like, "Oh, it's not that good," or what? I said, "No, that's not it. It just won't change your life like the Batman will. It just won't it won't give you new philosophy."
Didn't do that either, though.
Oh yeah, what you crazy?
The Batman didn't do that either. What are you talking about?
The Batman's okay. We're not gonna get to this argument because we're gonna talk about that for like 20 minutes. But yeah, so I'll give it like that. I respect that though.
Wakanda Forever. It talk about breaking the mold and not being formulaic, building a story and actually building a story arc over the real life death of Chadwick Boseman, but the character of T'Challa, giving Shuri this arc and giving her all this emotional weight to carry throughout a movie. Letitia did awesome. Namor is probably one of my favorite villains now.
That's the only
perfectly. He performed it perfectly. It could have gone wrong in a variety of ways, and from different angles, it could have gone wrong, and it didn't. So yeah, Black Panther is a major achievement. Number two.
I'm not gonna say anything about Namor because Namor was just amazing. I loved him. I loved him way more than I actually loved the actual superhero in a movie ever in the history of movies I've ever. But again, I have my. It comes down to the logic of the film, the way it's structured, the common sense in this movie, the lessons that I'm always at that. I'm always about that, and so I have my own critical reasons of it. It's very critical. It's just a lot of it doesn't make sense to me, and when I've heard it so many different ways, I'm just like,
the man flies with his ankles.
No, not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
I'm just kidding.
Namor. I wanted way more of Talocan. I wanted way more of that, and it's sad to me that we didn't get enough of it. It's sad to me. I'm very upset about that because it's supposed to be a whole new civilization that they're supposed to be comparable to Wakanda, and yeah, I have my own critical of thinking of that film.
Ryan Coogler left you wanting more, so mission accomplished. Go to my number 3. And then
all right, let's
do your number 3.
All right, let's go. Oh, go to your number 3. All right, let's see. Your number 3 is Doctor Strange. Okay, all right, I respect that.
Can I also just put this caveat out there? 1, 2, and 3. There's also like a good gap between 3 and 4, but number 3, Doctor Strange 2.
All right, gotcha. All right, so number 3 for us, it's gonna be. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, dang. Okay, Lex. All right. Wakanda Forever. We're starting to. You know what I've noticed here, guys, is that we're starting to synchronize one another. We're starting to hit those. It hit us in different ways, but it's still high up there. So Spider-Man No Way Home for me, and then Lex for Wakanda Forever. Y'all are gonna get mad when I put Wakanda Forever, guys. Y'all are gonna get mad when I put it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. For me as well, I think starting from 3, there's a dip, and then there's a couple other gaps going down. But like this for me, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Wakanda Forever,
Yeah.
great movies.
Yeah.
Some of the like super polished Marvel offerings, even when you put it up against some other like faces,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you there, man. It just, yeah, it's definitely Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange too. It depends what time of day I'm feeling, but sometimes they'll switch.
Yeah.
They really will. I'll be honest there. All right, so let's go to we'll go to Ted's because his is all the way at the bottom. Ted's number 4,
So,
Thor, dude, Thor. Okay, this is
do me a
where
favor.
we're.
Do me a favor. Good show 4 and 5, and I'm going to tell you why.
Wow, what?
Oh,
Whoa.
Four. Let me tell you why. Let me
Tell
tell
me.
you
All right,
why.
tell me why. Tell me why.
4 and 5. I don't have a 5. I put it in this order, and I know it's a cop out, but I have 2 of them tied at 4, and that's Thor: Love and Thunder and Shang-Chi. If I had to put them in a list, Thor takes a very small edge
Mm-hmm.
because I was just more emotionally invested in Thor: Love and Thunder for
Okay.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
This is a movie about a villain who loses his daughter, and I'm a father with a daughter, and my daughter's 3, so it hit me in a way you would not have imagined. Kind of going through that story from start to finish with those motivations behind it. So Thor and Shang-Chi are like that, but Thor gets a slight edge for me.
All right, I respect that. I respect that. Okay, so 4 and 5. All right, I get that. Okay, so all right, this is where we're gonna hit. Wow, Lex, Doctor Strange number 5, dude. Damn. Okay, so
Yeah.
4 and 5. Let's do. So I put Wakanda Forever. See, I spelled it wrong, but
I
I,
thought it was
I
gonna be last. I'm glad
no,
it's
no,
number
no,
4.
no, no, no. I mean, that's what I was saying. Y'all put it very high up, and then I'm at 4, but I thought it was lower. It was.
I put it at three and four. It's not that big.
I spelled it wrong, guys, by the way. Sorry about that little typo right there. There it is. Boom. Fixed it. And then Eternals number 4. Wow, Lex.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an unpopular opinion, and I'll explain why. Because once again, for me, after 3, it's a dip in quality. Because
Yeah.
Eternals, to me, still looking back at it, is not super duper memorable. It's not. I
I have
feel
to
like in
disagree with
Phase
you there.
4, I don't know. Give me a second. I
Agreed.
don't know if it's placement in Phase 4 or or whatnot, but I only got to see it once, and that's my fault. But I can recall about 80%. And I don't recall like what happened first and things like that. Now that could be me just cognitively not remembering the movie, but
Yeah.
I just recall that for the hype and for what it sold us, um, I think it opened more holes than it patched up. It felt like a very isolated movie, but then it tried doing things like explain how, like mythological figures, gods of different cultures and things like that, it all traced back to these people. But then
Mm.
Thor Love and Thunder shows us the physical representation of those gods. And then we have Wakanda Forever, which shows us one of their gods in Namor. So for me, like that has been a problem with me, and I know these movies came out after Eternals, but I've had the same thoughts from Eternals. I just feel like it left too many holes in what they were
Yeah.
trying to explain. Now the reason I have it
Well,
this high up
yeah.
real quick,
Hmm.
cinematically, it's
Hmm.
very unique and very well done compared to the rest of the MCU movies. And I think it holds high value because of what it accomplished, and the cast is also made up of great actors.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. This is definitely a film to where it's a huge risk. This is from Academy Award winner director who she really exceeded expectations for me. The cinematography is really good. Now, this film's not a great movie, but the cinematography, the way this film is shot, it's so beautifully shot. I would say this is probably the best shot film of the MCU. One of the best shots because of how unique it really takes the camera dynamics, how it really takes the story unfold. And again, disagree with me as much as you want. I think Eternal's directional story was very put well together, way better than Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That's just my take there. I think Wakanda Forever is a little choppy at times, and this one was very well directed, when it comes to story, when it comes to main plot, story, and output, and all that. But dude, I mean, the way it was shot, the whole essence, and people don't like Eternals. They probably rank it last. And it's sad. It's sad to say that, but it's like, when Marvel takes a risk,
Good reasons, yeah.
yeah, when Marvel takes a risk and everything, it takes away from the formula. It definitely is a risk whether they like it or not, and how people's turn out. Okay, so all right, what were we at? Oh, we were at 4, right?
Six.
Or we're at six.
No,
Okay.
now we're going to 5. Oh yeah, it's because Ted was.
Oh yeah.
5.
So okay, yeah. So Wakanda Forever for me.
And then R5.
Yeah. So Eternals was 5.
I mean,
for
you
me.
could already talk about Eternals on your number 5.
We're on 6.
All right, so let's go to 6. Black Widow. Okay, Black Widow.
I'm not going to talk about it a lot. Already mentioned it. The dialogue from start to finish is awesome. The fight sequences, some of the most brutal fight sequences you've seen, and I'm talking about hand-to-hand stuff, like the Yelena, Black Widow fight scene in the kitchen. Still one of my favorites. Still one of my favorites. It's so good. Love the humor.
I have to disagree with you there, but yeah.
I don't mind Taskmaster at all. The reason why they did that is to show you the true villain, the lengths the villain is willing to go to, that even includes brainwashing and turning his own daughter into a killing machine. So Black Widow. Also, it's not high on my list. It's at number 6. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, you're backing it up with all these claims, and I'm all like, it's number 6. I'm like, damn. I was very surprised how high you ranked Thor: Love and Thunder. Black Widow, like, again, I think the best fighting sequences for this phase was Shang-Chi, but that's just that bus scene is pure amazing. That bus scene right there, where we see Awkwafina driving the bus, man, that's like the best scene ever. Okay, all right, let's see right here. Oh wait. So number 6, let's go to number 6 up top. Number 6 for us. Okay, Black Widow. Okay, all right. So I have Black Widow, Thor: Love and Thunder, Lex. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. All right. And I know we were on the same page on this. We really were. We were on the same page for Thor: Love and Thunder, pretty much. And then
yeah, and we didn't talk about my 5, but it's fine. It's Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. I just think that's a good placement for me. Like, I love the changes in direction that we had with the horror stuff, Sam Raimi, but it's still a lot of this Phase 4 stuff over-promised and under-delivered in the execution for the most part. And I think that Doctor Strange did that. I love America Chavez. But then when we have Thor: Love and Thunder, I think for me, a character that I enjoy a lot, which is Thor, if I was to rank these based on the one that let me down the most, it was probably Thor: Love and Thunder. I was 100, because this one actually gave me what the trailer sold. So like, it was true as marketed, but there was no more depth after that for me in terms of what was being promised. And I think they overdid it with the comedy. A lot of it felt like it was more comedy than less story.
Yeah,
what? Okay, Lex, you're putting it very politely. The comedy was shit. I mean, I'm gonna say it right now. The comedy was just terrible.
Hilarious.
Oh my god, I am very vocal about this movie.
Oh,
this is whatever.
So great.
So
here's a problem, and I'm not trying to sound like the old man in here. If you lived through the 80s comedies, that's
it wasn't
80s,
okay, but
that's pure 80s comedy.
It wasn't okay. It wasn't a comedy though. It was
China.
It was goofy. That's
our generation's Big Trouble in Little China. Go watch Big Trouble in Little China.
I've seen Kurt. I've seen it, but it's too goofy.
It's okay that it feels like that, right? But they're doing that after one of the deepest arcs that Thor went through in Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame. He went through a deep arc, nothing like 80s movies. So it felt out of place from that character that was established.
Yeah. That we saw last. That we saw in Endgame. Because the last time we saw him was in Endgame.
You know why it also works for me? Because the humor that Thor's kind of projecting, it's just a coping mechanism. He's depressed. He tells us he's depressed.
But
and
is he?
Okay. The jokes and the awkward laughing, it's just a coping mechanism. It's just a front.
Just real quick, I'll mention the one joke that broke me. The one where I thought You're
beginning
right.
of the
Some jokes
movie.
landed. I don't feel like Ryan. I don't think the jokes were shitty. Some of them landed. I smiled. I laughed a couple times. The one joke that was actually at the expense of the character is when
Hmm.
Thor literally makes a joke while he's talking to the kids who are being imprisoned by Gore. And they're literally talking about
Oh,
how
I know
they
what you're talking
fear
about.
for their lives. And then Thor made a joke in that moment, in that scene, when kids' lives are at stake. I know it's Marvel film movie. I know he was depressed. I cope through sadness with comedy. But that one joke, I was like, okay, you guys finally did it. You made a joke at the expense of the character. And
Yeah,
from there, I could not take the further jokes like
yeah,
serious. I just couldn't.
yeah.
But that's my
Yeah.
opinion. That's why I ranked
I
it where
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
yeah.
that's why I ranked it. I ranked it last. And this is to say that Thor is my favorite MCU character. This sucks. This really does. I mean, Thor is definitely it sucks because I know people disagree with me. I enjoyed Thor: The Dark World. I freaking enjoyed that movie. What do you want to call that? Depressing. I thought that
Yeah,
scene where
I
the
disagree with
with
that.
no, I that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You
Like
mentioned
that
movies, and
movie.
I was like,
See that movie where his mother gets killed, like that scene is just so emotional, and I'm just like, oh my god, like you feel that emotional grasp. I want to feel that way again with Thor. I want to feel his troubles. I want to feel his depression in a way, and then lift us up, of course, because Marvel movies they do that, and so then like get us out of the gutter, but also have us feel that emotional aspect. Wakanda Forever kind of reached out a little bit, and then for me, it just I felt like they relied too much on the goofiness that Thor Ragnarok. This didn't feel like a Thor movie. This felt like a sequel to Thor Ragnarok. I'll leave it at that. That's what I'm. But I'll just leave it like that, and it's just my take on it. So what was number 7 for you? Oh, Eternals.
Obviously, Eternals.
Wow. Why Ted?
Obviously,
Why?
Eternals.
Why?
And I will say that 1 through 6 are all above par for me. There's like an average movie, Marvel movie, and Eternals is in the bottom half. You can talk about the cinematography all you want, but the
Yeah.
majority of a movie is like your audience engagement,
Wow.
the dialogue, the action, the story arcs, and all that stuff. Eternals mostly suffers from the way that they actually told the narrative. I felt
Mhm.
like it would have been better told in a more linear setting. Think
Okay.
about House of Dragon. House of Dragon is very linear. It goes from the
Yeah.
actors at a young age all the way through a linear story progression until they're older. Eternals suffers because they go back and forth too many times, and I feel like something gets lost in the translation there.
Really?
Also, like you mentioned, not a whole lot of memorable stuff in it, and I like the actors. I like the actors a lot. Too many
Yeah.
just
A-list
too
actors.
too
Yeah.
much sort of lagging in the movie. Like I'm not
Wow.
in. There's
Okay.
several moments where I'm just not engaged whatsoever in what's
Yeah.
happening on screen, and so for that, I have to
Wow.
say Eternals falls at the bottom of Phase 4, and like I
Okay.
mentioned, also
Yeah.
it's in the bottom half of my Marvel movies.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. And the reason, all the reasons that you mentioned, it lags and all that stuff. So like, I believe Eternals was not a Marvel film. It didn't feel like a Marvel film whatsoever, and that's why I loved it. That's why I enjoyed it so much more because of it just being, it felt like an Oscar film of its own good. It really did. It felt like a very cinematography film. But yeah, it definitely it definitely reaches that goal for me. And yeah, I mean, hey, I get it, man.
It's
I
bad.
get it. Yeah, I get it. Legacy nerd.
yeah,
He
very
says,
different. I like the different ideas for sure.
yeah, this is really good. This is what I'm talking about. All films are subjective, guys. All films are work of art, whether you believe it or not. Whether you take it, it's just you think of this movie's number 1. I think this the movie's number 2, number 7. I thought Eternals was way better than what Ted said, but hey, that's fine. We all have our own opinions, and the legacy nerd says he doesn't have anyone left in his life to die for him to get to that. And I get that. I really do. They the way they
Thor now?
yeah, Thor
Well,
the
yes,
Eternals
Jane, but
But he's got Jane.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he's got Jane. But see, even so though,
I think it was just meant like as a joke, which is fine. Totally,
yeah,
I get it. He
the
did
Eternal
lose a lot. It's wild.
the Eternals suffer from being a bad movie. Oh man, see again, we talk about this all the time. It's a risk film. It really was, and I give
Yeah.
props to Kevin Feige because he took that risk. Obviously, it didn't plan out the way it wanted it to.
They greenlit it for a sequel too. I mean,
Yeah, they did.
The filmmaker is great. I do think maybe
she's an Oscar winner.
Having a more central story, a little bit more focused, and I do gotta say, like, once again, I love the cast, but some people ended up being like cast aside, or like not everyone got to shine in a way that like the cast of Avengers did, where like all the characters really had like a footprint on the story.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you to do a weird thing because I gotta drop in like a couple of minutes. Can I just go over my series list real quick?
Yeah. No, go ahead, brother. Let's go ahead and jump right in, and then
my series list. So we're gonna talk about series, but I'm gonna get mine out of the way. So I apologize. You know what? Can you zoom out from 100%, go to like 75?
Hang on one second. Hang on. Let me figure this out real quick. Oh yeah.
There you go. Is that everything? Yeah, it's everything. All right, so this is pretty simple. You have your top tier. I'd say WandaVision and Loki are your top tier. They're the ones that really took a story that went above and beyond anything you can ever imagine. Moon Knight, Hawkeye, She-Hulk, very true to the comics in their own very different ways. Enjoyed them, very entertaining. A little above average there. What If? Enjoyed immensely. I thought it was very good. Can't wait to see more stuff like that in sort of live action. Miss Marvel, it probably took me one of the longer times to really get engaged
into it. Yeah,
into it.
I had the same
probably
thing
around the middle of it. I thought it was fantastic when it really took off. But I loved the stylistic vision they had for it. It was very sort of Scott Pilgrim versus the World-ish as how it started. Then they got away from that, and I don't know when they got away from that, but they did get away from it, and it that's just where I find that. 8, I think 8 is the only subpar series that they've had.
Oh,
Falcon
wow.
and the Winter Soldier. For whatever
I am
reason,
surprised you have that last. I am very surprised.
I didn't care about the villains. I didn't care about the militia that was going around bombing people. Like I didn't care about that whatsoever.
That was one of my complaints about the. Yeah, I didn't.
I'm just like I'm not invested in any of this. I should feel I want to be invested. I'm not invested in any of the dealings that are happening. I love the actors. I love what Bucky and I love what Anthony Mackie's character. I love their progression, their arcs.
Yeah,
that was the good stuff. Everything other than that wasn't invested whatsoever.
Yeah, see, I thought that setup, and again, this is me complaining about setups, pretty ironic. I actually enjoyed his setup to become the next Captain America, and that was really good. I thought that was really well done. His suit and everything, that's awesome. I can't wait to see his Captain America. I can't wait. That's definitely going to be really good. But
we all agreed on WandaVision. That's the one.
Yeah, dude, bro. So WandaVision, it's WandaVision is that gold standard. I feel like with this ratings right here, I think for Disney Plus to launch the way it did, WandaVision is a gold standard. It's the number one. That's number one. That should be your criteria here. So anywhere Disney Plus wants to move on with the Marvel show, they need to be like it needs to be as good as WandaVision. It needs to be,
You can't. It's mostly number one because of the performances. The performances,
risks. It took a lot of risks. Totally different genre, totally different when it comes down to like the format of the episodes too. I mean, that was a risk in itself.
Elizabeth Olsen deserved an Emmy nomination for that role. I don't think she got it, but she deserved it. It was like that good of a performance.
Yeah, okay. I respect that. I do. It just, again, we go against where like, people say Angela Bassett should get an Oscar nominee, but it's tough, man, because there's a lot of Oscar performances coming out this year that I could say that are better performances than what she did. Nothing against Angela Bassett. I think she deserved one years ago, but it's as of right now for this year, I feel like there's way more better contenders out there for the film, for the Oscar role for best lead actress. But yeah, all right, Ted. Well, we'll check.
It wouldn't be a lead actress; it would be supporting character.
Supporting. Okay,
that's why I think she's gonna get a nomination. I think she should.
I agree,
but I haven't seen a ton this year.
There's a lot of movies, guys, where I could name so many different. The Menu comes out this week, which is an Oscar film. The Fablemans come out next week. The huge Oscar contender films that are just cinematographically just shot very well done. And again, it goes to the Marvel
It's
standard.
because you put Wakanda Forever in number 4, man.
Oh
You're not
man.
gonna want that shit in there. I get it.
That ruined it
Hey,
right there.
hey, all I'm saying is that the first Black Panther did get nominated for Best Picture. I give it that. It's credit when it's due, guys. I'll say that. Good credit when
Absolutely.
it's due. But Ted, all right, man, we'll catch you later, brother.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Ted.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show, brother.
Peace.
Later. All right, Lex. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about our rankings of WandaVision. So obviously, WandaVision is that GOAT standard for us. We're gonna get a little drifted a little bit here because for me, it was What If and Loki were kind of like hitting one another.
Yeah.
So for me, I enjoyed the What If series. I enjoyed the What If series because it gave so much of, what if this could happen? You know, T'Challa as the Star-Lord, Doctor Strange reaching that dark realm that I always wanted him to reach, knowing that it reached it to animation level. Also in its own, you know, it felt like animation with cartoon style, the way it was drawn and everything. I enjoyed that. I thought again, we go back to like the whole risk term here is that Marvel really take a risk on that What If series. I felt like it was done well. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was and everything. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Loki, we're kind of around the same. I'm number 3. You're number 2 on Loki. So you enjoyed Loki way more than I did.
Yes, I did. I recall those two, like WandaVision, Loki, just getting me super excited for what Marvel was doing with with their Disney Plus series. There were super interesting stories. Loki's one of my favorite villains, one of my favorite characters in general, especially after his arc in Ragnarok, which I understand that this is not the same Loki as that, but I just really enjoyed the story and journey that they delivered here with Loki character and the variations and talking about the TVA, which that introduction was epic. Like
I just again we go back to the whole concept of like Loki was actually trying to bang himself in another multiverse. like it's just it kind of hey dude. literally
so it's kind of poetic to an extent.
You know, I enjoyed it. I really did. I kind of felt like that, you know, it deserves, obviously, this is, so to give it to fact perspective here, ladies and gentlemen, moviegoers out there, is that Loki is actually the only Disney Plus series out of this list that got greenlit for season 2. Only series. And
yes, but also Falcon and Winter Soldier already has a greenlit movie.
Series,
about Captain America. It's Captain America follow-up. But I get what you meant. Like, in terms of series. And I'm sorry, I keep correcting you, but Moon Knight did already get a confirmed sequel.
Oh, okay. Series or movie?
Series.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny because that's the one that Kevin Feige actually said it was going to be a one and done, and then they changed their mind.
Yeah, I know. I could have sworn it said limited. Okay, maybe they changed it.
They did.
Oh,
they changed it. Yeah, like Oscar Isaac shared a picture of like, guess why we're in Egypt and blah blah blah.
Oh wow. Okay, interesting. Okay, so and then so let's go do Falcon Winter Soldier. We left it at 4. Oh wow, we did the same ranking. Okay, cool, perfect.
I almost put it at 3.
Oh dang. Okay.
You skipped Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah. So Miss Marvel for you. Wow.
And me, Miss Marvel.
Tell me why Miss Marvel.
I switched it last minute. I put Falcon and Winter Soldier as number 3, and then and Miss Marvel was number 4. I changed it last minute, super quick. I really enjoyed that show. It was a surprise to me because I didn't think I was going to connect with the character as much. It's a younger character, right? And they did something similar in Hawkeye when they introduced Kate Bishop, right? A younger character, but it was paired with Hawkeye, the character that we've known and loved from the Avengers ever since the Avenger movies. He came out in Thor, I think, as his first appearance, but paired with that, I really like that buddy cop dynamic. I'm talking about Hawkeye now, but with Kamala Khan being introduced as a character, it was kind of like on her own. And so I thought that the show was going to target an audience that maybe I wasn't going to be a part of. And I was wrong because I actually found the show very sweet, funny. It knew what it was. It really dove deep into introducing Kamala Khan as the first Muslim superhero in the MCU. And so it also, the branding of the show and the stories behind it all tied to that cultural aspect, which I don't think a Marvel movie had done to that extent before.
Yeah.
And I think it was really important, not only from a representation standpoint, but in the comic books, that is also part of who Kamala Khan as a character is. And so
Hmm.
I just really like the way that this show delivered. A big annoyance with it was how short the story was. I think it's
Yeah.
the shortest out of the Disney Plus shows, so the Phase 4 shows.
Hmm.
But it from the get go, I feel like it knew what it wanted to be and what it wanted to do. It wasn't this huge like let's save the world story, but it had
Yeah.
some implications that is now tying in into the Marvels movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just really liked it. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, putting it at number 4, is because kind of what Ted was mentioning. There was some stories that I wasn't connecting with, some side
Yeah.
quest lines, like the militia thing and all that stuff ended up being a secondary thing. And then there was some things happening in the background. And then there was the rise of Captain America, which
Yeah.
I think they landed very well and got me really excited for the end of the show.
Yeah.
But this one, Miss Marvel, was smaller in scope, but
Hmm.
focused, and it just knew what it was from start to finish. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll give you that, man. You know, this film was really I mean, this whole series was just really surprising to me. I didn't think I was going to give Falcon and Winter Soldier that high after
Yeah,
watching
that's
it.
surprising.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I really was surprised at the whole outcome. Moon Knight, I'm going to leave it at number 5. You gave What If at number 5. I can respect
Yeah.
that. Well,
What if was really solid.
yeah. Hawkeye. Okay, so I had
both had it this
we I had so many problems with this. Okay, so when I knew Haley Steinfeld was going to be in it, freaking effing amazing actress. She is phenomenal in Dickinson. If you have not seen Dickinson on Apple TV, what the hell are you doing right now? Go watch it right now, because that show, she rocks that show. She is phenomenal. She is an artist. She is just, she's all of it. She's a model, an actress, a singer. I mean, she's everything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I loved her. I loved her in the Bumblebee movie. I loved her in so many.
She was really good in both
You know, she got nominated
I
for
like
an
her in Pitch
Oscar.
Perfect.
Dude, she got nominated for an Oscar at 14 or 15 years old. What
Age
were
of
we
16.
doing? Oh, 16. What were we doing? What were we doing at 16?
No. The movie was Age of 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Age of
That's
16.
what
Oh,
she got
okay.
nominated.
Yeah, she was in her teenage years, and I'm just like, what were we doing in our teenage years? And she got nominated. You know, hey, but all I'm saying
So
is that
she's great
she's
talent.
phenomenal.
She's awesome as Kate Bishop. I really liked
Yeah.
the introduction of the character. Once again, this show had problems as well.
I had so
It
many
took-
cheesy problems with this show, dude.
yeah, it was-
Like the villain
it-
was just not there.
Oh
The
my
villain was again has nothing to do has nothing to do on the actual actor that actually plays the character. Let's go on record here. Same reason why. I mean, if I just don't like the character, I just don't like the character. Has nothing to do with
And-
it. It's just the way it was written.
Yeah, and I gotta say, so like, I started watching Better Call Saul somewhat recently. I mean, a few months ago. I haven't finished
Yeah.
it, but there's a character there, Lalo Salamanca, who is played by Tony Dalton, who shows up in this show as like the stepdad, or like the one that the mom is dating and stuff like that. And knowing now, seeing Better Call Saul, how good of an actor he is, and
Yeah.
the different range that he has, and I feel like looking back at Hawkeye, like he was completely misused. I know
Limited.
He
He was
I
limited.
know
Yeah.
he was utilized as kind of like, oh, is he bad? Is he not? Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Like, but it sucks seeing great
Yeah.
actors like that, and then just being used as a kind of like
Yeah.
bait and switch. type of
I
thing.
didn't like Miss Marvel for its own good. You know, it just felt too much like a Disney show, if that makes any sense. The
It is a
beginning did.
Disney show,
No, but you know what I mean. It just
Disney
felt,
Plus, come
okay,
on.
Disney Channel show. It just felt too. I
This is the new Disney Channel.
couldn't grasp the fact of this character. I watched it all the way through, and I just didn't like it. It just didn't sit well with me for whatever reason. But let's check it out right here. Last two ratings, guys. Last two ratings are exactly the same. Wow.
Well,
Okay. So I am
gotta
Groot
admit,
is
I haven't seen I Am Groot. So
Oh.
that's why I put it at the end. So my bad. It may not be a true rank.
Okay, so
But-
okay. When I think about it more so though, I think I am okay. The reason why She-Hulk is above I Am Groot is so cute. It's really cheesy and cute. It really is. It's really cute, and you just can't be like, oh, you know, it's so cute. She-Hulk, what saved it from being the last of the Disney Plus ranking was because of the first episode and the last two episodes. She-Hulk. How many times everyone mentions it to me? They're like, "Why didn't you like She-Hulk?" Well, it's a comedy that does not make me laugh. That's I mean, that's plain and simple, man. She-Hulk for me wasn't it didn't make me laugh at all. Like there was some small moments, yeah, but for it to be strictly a sitcom comedy of its own good, it really did make me laugh. Like episode 1 was good, solid. Episode 2 is like did they lose a director? What the hell's going on here? Like this movie didn't feel like episode 1 whatsoever. The last two, of course, where Daredevil showed up. The Walk of Shame is so hilarious. I'll give credit when it's due. The Walk of Shame where Daredevil's walking, that's just freaking amazing. That made me laugh. But for me, I just it didn't sit well with me, and it has nothing to do, it has nothing to do the characters, the actors, the people that actually played the roles. For me, it's the way it was formatted and written. That's just my take. But Lex, what was your take on She-Hulk and everything?
So I didn't say this earlier, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, for those watching, that there was a bigger gap in quality on the movie side than on the
Yeah.
show side. Because up until now, I've actually said that I enjoyed a lot of these. I had problems with some of them, right? But it's a much closer gap. Like a lot of these could have been shuffled up and down for me for different reasons. So She-Hulk being an 8, once again, I am Groot. Just I haven't seen it, so I just put it at the bottom. But it's like a short story thing, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't consider that like a full on series. But the reason I put She-Hulk towards the bottom tier, I actually enjoyed She-Hulk most, but like more than most. But the main reason I have to admit is my expectations were super, super tempered. Super, like, dare I say, a little low, but it was just super, super tempered. I kind of accepted it for what it was, like very quick into the series, and I stayed in that ground in terms of just accepting it for what it is.
Yeah.
My favorite part was Jennifer Walters, the character, and even her as She-Hulk. Like I enjoyed her character a lot. Like
Yeah.
Ted mentioned, it is very true to the comics. I haven't read a lot of She-Hulk comics, but from what I understand, that's how it is. A lot of the runs are exactly that, breaking the fourth wall, mini stories, like diving into like what it is to be a lawyer, what it is to balance that and your super life, all that stuff. I really enjoyed it. I did have some laughs. Some of it didn't hit all the time. Some of the
Yeah.
characters were incredibly cheesy. Especially that dude that the with the scarf. I forget his name. The guy that actually ends up being the Hulk King or whatever.
Yeah.
I hated that dude. Super cheesy, super cartoonish character. The actor did what he needed to do, so that's fine. But yeah, I put it at the bottom because with the rest of these shows, it turned out to be where my expectations were low, and then they surprised me. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I thought it was going to be average. It actually surprised me, especially with the landing that it had. Hawkeye,
Yeah.
I had very tempered expectations. It surprised me how much I enjoyed some of the characters. There was cheese, etc. Moon Knight let me down a little bit. I had high expectations and it let me down. But once again, it kind of like ranged there. So
Yeah.
She-Hulk, out of all these shows that I put on my list, is the one where I had really, really tempered and low expectations. And I stayed there and I was happy with what it was. But it didn't surprise me. It didn't put me over like, oh, wow, it's actually way better than I thought. It was just
Yeah.
that I accepted it for what it was. And the show had a little bit of fun knowing that it is just that. Like
Yeah.
especially towards the finale, like it had fun with the idea that this is not a very well written story.
See,
But
and
Jennifer
I don't know if
Walters
that's a
was
good
really
thing.
good
That
character. I
yeah,
know. I'm
yeah,
not,
yeah,
and that's why, like, I'm not saying it like as, oh yeah, like it's a really good thing that they did that and they knew that. But a lot of shows don't have the courage to just admit it, and so like I just give them like a little bump and extra bonus points because of
yeah,
that. But yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily a good thing. I do hope that if they whatever they do with her character next, I hope that they elevate the quality, maybe the impact, have a little bit more cohesiveness. Because once again, her character, out of a lot of these in the shows, like as a new introduced character, I really enjoyed it.
yeah.
I think the actress has a lot of charisma, and I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah. No, definitely. I agree with you there, man. I just, there's just so many different outputs here that I really did. I had so many problems with She-Hulk to where it just didn't sit well with me. Moon Knight, I was very, I
Moon
wanted
Knight
it to
was
reach,
almost like top two for me. It was very close, but
yeah, I just, it
because
again, it
Oscar
had
Isaac
its,
is amazing, right?
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we agree.
exactly.
He's
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
amazing.
hell yeah. I loved him in Dune. It just he had these serious moments, but I kind of feel like the way it was written, his lines were just not delivering well with me. I just feel like his lines were not chosen word wisely. They weren't chose really good words. And there's a few episodes where I can mention that. And it just it goes to the whole concept of it was dark and like a because Ethan Hawke's in there as well. And so it wasn't what I expected. It really wasn't. And I just wanted again, we wanted to reach that emotional graph. It did reach up to a certain point. I love the whole dynamic of his character where he's looking at himself and it's multiple like
I mean, it's because Oscar Isaac like did this thing where he played two characters that were
a multiple
rather
personality.
complex.
Yeah. And that's really hard to do for any actor to really come in and do those things. And just again, I give credit when it's due, and Oscar Isaac did a really great job, and it had nothing to do with him. It was more the format of the outcome of the story with me. Again, because we talk about these movies, it's like the outcome. Okay, whatever. The story ended like that. Really, you just go out of the theater or out of the Disney Plus app watching it, be like, really ended like that? But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, man, our rankings are as is. We both gave I Am Groot last. It was cute. But it really give any output to where what it landed in the MCU or anything like that. Falcon Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, Loki, WandaVision. Those are the top. WandaVision was the number one show, but I know it's not greenlit, but I don't see it happening in season 2. There's just no way. It's just no.
For what?
For season 2, like if they were to try to make a season 2, WandaVision, there's like there's just no way.
And also, I'm sorry. What if also? I'm sorry. I keep saying, but I just wanted to clarify because people may not know this. But what if also got an approved second season?
Oh yeah. Second, yeah. So I kind of knew that was gonna. Yeah, I kind of knew that was gonna happen to see more of the situations as they occur. What if Kang did this? What if maybe what if Kang was Ant-Man? I don't know. Just
the sky's the limit with those. This was really cool. It was really
and I like
fun.
them. They're shorts. They're really good shorts.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that it actually ended up tying to all of them. Like all of the stories were supposed to be separate, and then it tied.
Now this is what Disney should do. We need some Namor shorts. That's what we need. We need some more Namor shorts, dude. Yes,
more than a
shorts. He deserves his own damn movie, but
how is he gonna get shorts when Groot has shorts?
Oh man, dude, I don't know. We'll see. You never know. You never know, man. You never know. With Disney Plus, they probably might do something like that, or make his own Disney Plus TV show of
they
the
could make a show about Talokan. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll end on one final note, guys. Thank you for sticking with us this long. We'll end on one final note here, and we're going to talk about, of course, the box office, the way these box office came about to where the weekend box office and everything. And hey, Eternals, I did not know came out in November of last year. So knowing that Black Panther Wakanda Forever beat that, let's talk about this real quick. So this is the numbers from the opening weekend domestically on opening weekend. 181, of course, we knew that with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Thor Love and Thunder, 144. Doctor Strange, though, surprisingly, numbers, it had about 6 million more, pretty much, if you round it up, 6 million more than Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And then we get, of course, the one that killed it out of the park. We knew that was going to happen. We knew the anticipation for this movie. We knew it because it was a fan film. Spider-Man No Way Home takes up that just killer 260 million in the box office for opening weekend, and worldwide almost 2 billion. And dude, that's insane to me. I'm not surprised whatsoever. But yeah, definitely
there was just so
deserved
much hype and they delivered, man.
Yeah, and then we go to Eternals, which is one of the least. We talk about the Eternals, so Ted gave the Eternals the last. That is not surprising. That really isn't, because I know a lot of Marvel fans are just like, Eternals wasn't good with me, and it shows. 71 million went to go see it. But again, though, one could say, because of the pandemic, because of the COVID. I think the second phase or the next strain was happening around that time. Same thing with Shang-Chi too. Shang-Chi came out, I believe, in August of that year.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
You
Wait,
see
it's
the
right here. September.
No,
September 3rd.
yeah, September. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it
Yeah,
was
you
during
can see
that
those are
next
the ones
strain.
at the bottom.
Yeah, that was the next strain of the virus. And then also July 9th, obviously that was, I think that was the, what was that? It was the oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Well, that was like,
that was mid second, that was the second
well,
strain. I forgot what it was
theaters aren't
called.
even opening yet. But
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
remember the Black Widow release happened at home, so this is
Yes.
only counting for the theater count. It's not counting
Yes.
for that. But I bought it and watched it at home. I don't think I went to the theater.
So I went to a theater and watched it, I believe. Oh, you know what? No. I think I borrowed it from you. I think we shared it. Yeah, like I think you bought it. Yeah, you bought it. Yeah, you bought it. I think you bought it, and then I was like, I was gonna go see it, and then you mentioned it, and he said, hey, just see it here or whatever. And then I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
I think I told you, like, yeah, you shouldn't risk it, like going to the theater. Yeah, because I was peak stuff. It was really scary around that time.
Yeah, and so then obviously it suffered with the whole. Well, it still made more than. I'm so surprised it made more than Shang-Chi though. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I don't, and that sucks because
Scarlett Johansson is a big character. Shang-Chi was introducing
a setup. That's the thing.
An actor-wise, like Simu Liu. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing his name.
No, you're good.
He's a newcomer. Like he does not have the star power of Scarlett.
He doesn't have the fandom yet in that aspect. Yeah,
I promise you, the next Shang-Chi though is going to have a bigger turnout.
Oh hell yeah, I think it is too. I enjoyed it so much, man. Shang-Chi was just amazing. But the fight sequences in that movie are just so hard and so technical that it's beautiful. It really is, and it sucks because the martial art, and also the authenticity of the music as well, the authenticity of the actors and actresses of hiring the right people to get the job done. That was really a good part on Disney to really do that here. Thor: Love and Thunder though, 144, man. I am just wow. Okay, and obviously we'll see because Spider-Man's the one that made that $1 billion mark. Here's the question: yes or no? Don't give me a number. Yes or no, Lex? Will Wakanda Forever make over $1 billion at the box office worldwide, officially, when it's out of the theater? It needs to make $1 billion before it's out of the theater. I'm gonna say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because, for one, we are missing our king. And also, two, it's because of the mixed reviews that people are giving this movie. I've seen so many people that are saying, they enjoyed it for what they thought it was good, a solid movie, but they have their problems with it. They have their problems with the whole outcome. They have their problems with that last scene. A lot of YouTubers I see, they're just complaining about that last scene a lot with the CGI and everything that really bothered them. Can
I see the numbers again?
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna.
I don't think so either. That's what I'm thinking too.
No, it can come close, but I don't think so.
Yeah, which, on record, Black Panther, the very first one, reached over $1 billion before it came home. Again, we're in a different era. It was pre-pandemic. 2018 was the last Black Panther movie, I believe. So it was a very different movie, very different setting, no pandemic, and also too with itself, it's fighting a lot of the whole what do you call it, of the whole everything going priced high right now with everything, especially with a lot of filmmakers too. I mean, it's affecting the whole film industry right now. And Disney's come out, and there's a few articles saying that Bob Chapek or whoever it is, the entertainment of Disney, is choosing the lowest VFX people to work on their movies right now, on the Marvel films, because of the cost, and it costs too much money to make these movies. And I'm just like, well, I mean, and we goes back to where that whole post that I did a while back, that I'm just like, I mean, it's a company, it's $1 billion company, and it's losing billions of dollars. It really is. It sucks like that, but it is what it is. So, I mean, overall, though, Wakanda Forever, I feel like it needs to make $1 billion to make Disney happy, but I don't think it's going to.
I don't think so. I don't think it works. But like, I mean, they want to get back to that $1 billion bracket, but if this performs anything close to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
um, I think they'll be happy regardless.
See, I don't even think it's gonna
They
hit
already
that,
did.
dude. I don't think.
Um,
I don't think it's gonna hit. I don't even think it's gonna hit 500 million.
nah, I think it is. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. That's what I'm saying. And also, because of the pandemic, because what's going on, it's not playing in China, so that's really gonna affect it. Because
Yeah, that is
China gets a lot of same thing with Black Adam. Black Adam wasn't played in China, so same thing with all that. It's really gonna affect the movie industry as far as a worldwide box office.
yeah, that
But
is
to
a
put
big
up,
thing. So I don't know. I think it'll hit
but
500 for sure, even with that.
yeah, but also, what other movies coming out in about a month from now? That's expected to make over $1 billion because the first one did like
Oh,
nothing.
Avatar.
Avatar, and who owns Avatar? Disney. So, and that movie, I don't know though, because there's so many limited screens. That movie's over 3 hours long, so definitely going to be a movie experience there on its own good. But yeah, alrighty guys, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Put a comment down below if you stuck with us this long. Thank you guys. We are apologize because we went thorough on everything. We covered everything of the Marvel Cinematic Universe here of Phase 4, and it was definitely a really great show here, guys. And thank you for thank you for stay tuning in with us. Now, question is for you guys. What did you think of Phase 4? Put your list down below, guys, and we'll comment back with you. What did you think of Phase 4? Was it all that you expected? Give us your list down below, guys. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Equal Ryan680.
And this was Lex. Thank you, everyone. See you guys next time.
Stay safe, San Antonio. Catch you later, guys.